Welcome to CBO-TV. My name is Jonathan Nuñez. Today we are proudly joined by four prominent leaders of baseball on the continent of Africa. First, we have Gift Ngoepe, South Africa, who was the first player to play in the Major League Baseball from the continent of Africa. Gift, it had to be an unbelievable feeling becoming the first player from an entire continent to play in the major leagues. Can you take us back to the time when you were first offered a contract? Where were you when you got that call up? What was that first game like, and how long did you get how long did it take for you to get your first hits?
So I first got seen. I got seen in Italy at the MLB Academy that they host every single year for European and African players.
Mm-hmm.
I got signed out of there in 2008. Pittsburgh Pirates called me, and they were like, "You have raw talent, and we think you can be something special if we develop it, and you can make the major leagues one day." And I was ecstatic. I was there with Barry Larkin, one of my role models and idols that I, idolized for a long time. He was there to walk me through the process and tell me how it goes. I was very excited. Started my first season in 2009 in the Florida GCL League.
Okay.
Played 9 years in the minor leagues, so long journey of ups and downs, and
a lot of waiting and a lot of patience.
A lot of waiting and a lot of patience, but my determination and my goal kept me going, and made my major league debut in 2017 against Chicago Cubs. When I got the call up, I was actually in Pawtucket, which is the Red Sox facility for the Red Sox, the AAA Red Sox facility. And my coach called me, and he was like, "Yesterday we called the European guy, which is one of my best friends that I was with at the academy. His name is Dravi. He's from Lithuania. He's the firstborn Lithuanian player to play in the big leagues."
Okay.
Then he said, my coach said, yesterday they called to get the European guy, and today they want the African guy. So that's how he told me that I got the call up to go to the big leagues. So that day I was headed to the airport, very excited, very nervous. I'm calling everybody back home, telling them that, I'm going to the big leagues, and there was no flights.
Oh.
So called back my manager, and I was like, "What's going on? There's no flights out of Pawtucket tonight." So they called me back and they said, "We'll reassess everything." So watched the whole Pittsburgh Pirates game that night, waiting for a call. About an hour or two later, my coach called me back. He's like, "Listen, kid, I want you to take a deep breath." I'm like, "Okay. Just give it to me, good news, bad news,
whatever news, just give me something.
Just give me something." He said, "Well, tomorrow morning you'll be leaving to go to Pittsburgh." So
that's great news.
Yeah, fantastic news. Got up. I didn't sleep that whole night. Everything was just going through my head. Since we have a six-hour time difference with South Africa, so I was able to call my friends and say, "Hey, listen, I didn't go today, but I'm going tomorrow." So I was able to talk to them. Got to Pittsburgh. Then, we played against the Chicago Cubs. John Lester was up there pitching that day.
I'm sorry you had to go against John Lester.
Why not? He's gonna be a future Hall of Fame.
I know, that's such a terrible person to go against on your first day, though.
I mean, he's left-handed, so I love facing left-handers more than I did against right-handers. So
okay, that's respectful.
I was optimistic when I saw him. I was like, "Okay, wow, this is fantastic. We got John Lester." But then I thought again, he's like, he has 3 World Series rings, and I'm like, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge. But I wasn't in the starting lineup, so I knew at some point that I'll come in the game, either today or whenever. I didn't know. I was just trying to figure out the National League rules, since we don't have a DH and the pitcher hits for himself, and then double substitution.
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes on in the National League game. So I'm talking to David Freeze at that time, and he's telling me everything, and he's like, watch the picture, watch this and watch that, and so I'm focusing on all this, and then next minute, one of my coaches, Tom Prince, says, "Hey, Gift, grab your glove, you're going to second base." And I was like, "Oh, second base. Oh, okay." And then I kind of panicked a little bit because I don't know where my stuff was. And then I ran out there, and then Francisco Savelli came onto the mound. They made a pitching change.
Okay.
Francisco Savelli came on the mound, and he checked my heartbeat, and my heartbeat was obviously racing a lot.
Sure.
Jay Hay checked my heartbeat as well, made fun of me, but he told me, "You know what? This is the moment that we live for. Enjoy it, kids." So went out there and finished that inning, and then I was leading off the next at bat against John Lester.
Okay.
First pitch went by, and I was like, "Oh, okay, now we're in a good spot right now." Second pitch went by, I'm on a 2-0 count, and in my head, I'm like, "How would it be if you just hit a home run right now?"
That would be beautiful.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, no. Let's stick to the process of just getting a base hit, getting on base, and let's do that." So he throws me a 2-0 pitch right down the middle. I foul it off, and I'm like, "Oh, Gift, you missed your pitch." That was your only pitch. In the big leagues, you don't get a lot of opportunities to get that pitch to hit. So that was the one. So it's going to be grind time right now. Throws the next pitch. It's another ball, a 3-1 count. And I'm like, damn, 3-1 against John Lester. This is exciting, So I was thinking, should we go big or should we play it safe? So I'm like, nah, let's play it safe. Get a pitch that you can drive it back up the middle. Make it happen. Got the pitch. I was able to hit a ground ball up the middle, through to center field, base hit, run at first base. My coach, Barty, was there. He was with me in the Pirates from the beginning. So he whispered in my ear as I hugged him. He's like, "Mom would be very proud of you right now." So kind of brought tears to my eyes since my mom passed away in 2013. So it's been a long journey without her, and she wasn't there to be able to see me make my dream comes true that day. So the feeling all around was, I was very ecstatic. I was very happy.
It was a great day.
It was a great day. You had to be there in order to feel the things that I felt that day. Obviously, a moment and a dream come true for me, and a long goal that I have had since I was 12 years old to be, playing in the major leagues.
I got you, yeah. So how did you first become interested in baseball?
So how I first became interested in playing baseball is my mother actually worked at the baseball complex, the Randburg Mets. I was obviously at the village with my grandparents. That's where I lived in Limpopo. And then I got sick. And then my mother came to Limpopo, got me, and moved me to Johannesburg. That's where I got introduced to baseball. I was throwing the ball against the wall, and the coach called me and he was like, "Listen, hey, why don't you join the team?" And that's how my baseball journey started.
Okay. Now, what is the overview of baseball in your country, and what are facilities like, not only in your country, but also other countries that you know of?
So South Africa, the conditions of baseball in Africa are not very good. South Africa is the most developed country in baseball wise. We've got some fields, not the best looking fields. Maybe I think we have one field that has beach sand that is has an infield ground. But other than that, there's not much. There's a lot of potential that we can work with.
There's a lot of potential, but not a lot of fields.
Not a lot of fields. Yeah, not a lot of development and infrastructure for baseball. We're missing a lot of things that could take us to the next level. Say machines to put the ball in, and you can hit off the machine, or cages that you can hit in. We don't have a lot of ball baseball access. So it's kind of tough to, do one-on-one stuff, or you have to train by yourself, and you only have 5 balls that you can hit off the tee with. You can't really do BP because you hit 5 balls and you have to fetch the 5 balls. And then some in other parts of Africa, they have some kind of structures, or they play on soccer fields. They some fields like Ghana and Zimbabwe all have they don't have grass, so they just play all on dirt. I know that equipment lacks in Africa as a whole. There's certain countries that don't even have anything, and they get a little bit of donations from people, but like they don't have a whole lot to work with.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
We're currently joined by 3 prominent leaders of baseball on the continent of Africa. First, we are joined by John Peter, president of the Baseball Tomorrow Academy in Nigeria. Next, we're joined by Martin Dravi, technical director of the Ugandan Baseball Softball Association. And lastly, we're joined by Okello Tonny, shortstop pitcher for Ugandan 2011-2012 national team for the Little League World Series. Gentlemen, thank you guys for joining me today.
Most welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
us.
So Martin and Okello, you guys were part of the Little League World Series Ugandan team that were trailblazers, as they were being the first team from Africa to make it to the Little League World Series. What was that like?
Wow. Yeah, I'm very so happy to talk to you. Nuñez, Jonathan.
Yes.
Before I joined, I'll talk about that experience. It was so an amazing experience. Personally, I did not go with the team to USA or for qualifiers in Europe, because Africa, we used to qualify from Europe. From Europe, then you qualify to go to World Series. So I was part of the team. I was part of the coaches that I was part of the technical team that used to coach the Uganda the Little League of Uganda. So that period, I was not alone. I had a team with around 6 coaches who participated in the coaching of these kids. In the Little League, in Uganda, what happens is that in Little League, we used to have regions. So I come from a region called Lugazi.
Okay.
The region where I come from is called Lugazi, where we have a sugar industry company owned by Meta group of companies. So Meta has a very big hectares, and has a camp where very many people come for work, where we work and the parents produce, and they have a field for very many activities, not only baseball, but for very many activities. So we started coaching these kids. They would go for competitions locally. So they would go for competition locally, or sometimes in part of where we had qualifiers in PG. The place is called in PG, the capital, very close to the capital, Kampala. So when this team went there, we were the Meta Little League was the winner in Uganda by that time. So when they won, they had to go to Europe to qualify for World Series. So in fact, we didn't expect to go there, because we thought maybe we cannot do that. We're coming from a village, a local area, so we thought maybe we cannot make it. So like when we made it from Europe, it was amazing experience. It was the first of its own kind. It was amazing. I can't even explain what the whole country, but more especially Gazi, people were very excited. Even when they went for World Series, I didn't go with them because that time I had exams. I didn't go, but Henry went with the team. When they were playing, the whole village were watching on ESPN, because ESPN is the national television. Parents cannot afford that television. So we had to go to a bar. We would collect all players who didn't go to go and watch the local players from Logazi seeing their brothers playing in World Series. In fact, nobody expected that. So it was amazing. I could not even explain how it was, but it was an amazing experience. So now, as I speak now, everybody loves baseball in our region. So that's how it feels. So I'm so happy to be part of the team that made the history in the world.
Tony, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Well, all I can say is that reaching that milestone was a very big feat. With what we had and what we used it for was really amazing. With our coaches, maybe it was hard going where you knew that you had to be your own man when you only have one coach, and maybe the other person was maybe Stanley, who was the head of Little League Uganda, but then was the one who came with the team, and then Henry and maybe Paul Katerega. But then we knew that we had to be our own men because they had remained back. So reaching the goal had to be the only thing he had to do, and also winning the games.
So congrats to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great job. Great job. Peter, you have the largest academy on the largest country by population in Africa. Tell us about your academy.
Jonathan, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here today.
No, thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah, Baseball Tomorrow Academy is a non-governmental organization, educational sports promoting organization, focused on empowering children and youth to succeed by promoting the values and the life lessons that are intrinsic to the game of sport of baseball and softball. This organization was established in 2013, and we were able to register it in 2016 with the federal government of Nigeria as a non-governmental organization and a sport promoting organization. So we use the game of baseball to promote the values and the life lessons that are intrinsic to the sport of baseball. And also, we work with schools, teachers, parents, students, and government agencies to help young and old people to learn to play the game of baseball and softball while developing the necessary life skills to face to this hurdle. At the same time, we use baseball and softball to combine education and personal development to realize the potentials of young people by providing them the corresponding opportunity to all the children and programs we are involved in while establishing international relationship through tournament, coaching clinic, educational talk on gender violation, drug abuse, child trafficking, and also give high level of training for schools game masters, give orientations and education parents.
So your academy isn't just for baseball itself, but it's for life in general.
Yes, not all about baseball, but we try to use baseball as a means of preaching peace building, to talk about drug abuse, because we need to take our kids away from the streets, and also to preach about child trafficking, which we know that in our country, Nigeria today, we are trying to build peace. We want the northerners, the southerners, and the westerners, and the easterners to come together as one family. And the only thing we can do is also use this game of baseball to bring them together, which is the most powerful thing a sport does in the area of peace development in every country.
I agree wholeheartedly. That's a great cause and a great action that you guys have been doing. Congrats to you guys.
Thank you very much.
And we'll start this question with you, Peter. How did you first become interested in baseball?
Wow, thank you very much. This is a question that most of the journalists they used to ask me whenever I go for an interview like this. Actually, I started playing baseball in the year 1992. Yeah, 1992.
92.
By then, I was in high school, and our senior team then, because baseball started in 1988 in Nigeria, Only started in Nigeria. So our first team then, our senior team, they traveled down to Canada. So when they came back from Canada in 1989 to 1990, so the jazz alone, the jazz they put on alone makes me get attracted to the game.
Okay.
So whenever I go to the stadium to watch the game of baseball, I fall in love with it. And from there, I developed a passion
It was love at first sight.
for the game. Yeah. And so that's how I started playing the game of baseball. And truly, my first coach is known as Toba. Then he was also a national player then. So he started training me. That's how I got to play the game of baseball in Nigeria.
Okay. Okello, same question for you. How did you first become interested in baseball?
Well, growing up, we had older brothers, our friends, older guys were playing baseball, and back then we were still young. We were just going through the motions, like getting small balls, getting sticks, throwing around and playing, and we shout at ourselves, like started like that, and then when it reached time for real playing, we maybe just go for soccer.
Yeah.
But then we're like, nah, this won't take us anywhere. So we're like, let's just join maybe baseball full time, and I think we ripped. We got at least something out of it.
I mean, you were able to go to the Little League World Series, so I would consider that getting something out of baseball.
That's true. That's true.
Martin, for you, same question. How did you first become interested in baseball?
Wow. You see, it's a interesting question, but I have why I got interested in baseball.
Okay.
I joined baseball in 1996. By then, I had my elder brother was in primary school.
Okay.
So my elder brother was in secondary school. So they used to play this game. I loved football. So these people used to have the stick. I would call it a stick. So this game was in Uganda. It was introduced by missionary group. They came to preach. So when they came to preach, they would play. So would go around, see what's happening. So my brother was in a boarding school. A cousin brother was in a boarding school. Me, I was a day scholar. So I started from picking ball and giving them. But when I watched TV, I told you, like television, ESPN in our region, it was something which was rare. So when I saw it in my neighbor's television, I said, no, this is a game which I saw somewhere. So I started going there, like ball boy. In football, we call it ball boy. Bring ball, you give them the hit. Everybody who comes has interest of hitting. They don't want fielding. They don't know about fielding. So we started. They would hit the headers. We'll be there, bring for them balls, like ball boys. We'll be in the outfield, bring for them balls, and they hit. So I started there. So these guys are sometimes throwing the ball. When they see you throwing good throw, they say, you come. Maybe we teach you. So they started there. So they started teaching us slowly, and some of us became better. Since I was still continuing with the school, I gave it time. Then when I was still watching on TV, I said, maybe I can be better. So I continued with baseball. I remember in 19, where I was in primary 7, in 2000, we had our first national team, who was my coach. They were qualified to go for all African games in South Africa. I think it was the first kind in South Africa. I was very young then. I think in Nigeria, they came back, they told us Nigeria was very strong. They told us they had players like Adeuchi. You see, they came with, we saw Adeuchi in Nigeria. Adeuchi can pitch. These guys went there, didn't know about bulk, they didn't know about best steering. So they saw something, pitching from the mount was a miracle for them. So when they came back, it was a very hard game for them. So for us, we are saying, no, if they went there, I also want to get to one day I want to board the plane because of what? Baseball. So I joined baseball. I continued with the game. So because they were old, some of them they started dropping out of the game. But I continued with the game. I continued because I was picking every day. I think the first time I joined to play, they had to put me right outfield because they thought outfield, that rare balls go there. So they put me in the weakest place. Unfortunately, they used to hit a lot of balls on my side. So I catched balls, I catched very many balls. They said maybe this one can play infield. So in 2003, we had the All African Games. It was in Nigeria, I think.
Nigeria, yeah.
I was in senior 4, I think. Senior 4. I was in senior 4. I went to Nigeria by the Uganda national team. And we had, I think, even our team did not have sponsorship for flight. Okay. Our government did not have. There was, I think, in Nigeria, the person who was putting money in team of Nigeria was, I think, army officer. He had money. So he loved our team. In fact, before going to Nigeria, we had all African Cup of Nations. It was in Uganda. We had a team from Nigeria, which came. We had a team from South Africa, which came, and Kenya came, and we were around. That was my first international match to play local. I think I was included because there was no need of.
You went through a roller coaster.
Yeah. So after that, in fact, in that African, I played second base in African Cup in Uganda. I remember we slept there. It was in Kyambogo University in Uganda, in Kampala. So it was my first experience. So in 2003, when we went to Nigeria, before I went to Nigeria, we had some whites who came from, they're also missionaries. So they said if you are coming, they came from USA, they came to Uganda. At that time, we had a local coach who had gone to Cuba for some few months. He came back, and he comes from a team called Buffaloes in Kyambogo. It's a club now. It's almost not there, but still there. Okay. So these people had to put him in second base. When I played second base, but I thought I was better in shortstop. So when those whites came, they said maybe I have a good throw in shortstop. But the person who was playing in shortstop, my coach, he was a friend to a coach. Coach wanted him to play what? Shortstop. But his coaches saw, maybe Matt is better. So I went to Sao in Nigeria. I played shortstop. In fact, I was the shortstop of now.
You were a multi-position player, correct?
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. You were able to go all across the world throughout all this and learn the game through multiple positions. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So from Nigeria, I was one of the youngest players around. Okay. I remember the team which gave us the hardest time in baseball. I think it was Nigeria used to be hard, but again we used to give. In fact, we used to give South Africa a lot of hard time because I thought it's a game of whites. But when we gave South Africa a lot of hard time, even they used to bring their best pitchers from the dugout because we are giving them hard time. I said, no, this game maybe I can go with it. So they selected some good players, young talents, to go for trials. Okay. In fact, I think that time I was supposed to go to Minnesota, but I would not make it. So I continued with that. That's how that's how I loved baseball so much up to now. So since I didn't make it to that level, I came back. Okay. I started training the young kids. I got you. That's how the Tonny became part of my product, and others. There are very many.
Okay, that's great to hear, and I'm glad that you're able to still continue the great tradition of baseball to the younger generation. And we'll start with you, Martin. Real quickly, what is the overview of baseball in your country, and what are facilities like, not only in your country, but also other countries that you know of?
In my country, let me start with Uganda.
Yeah.
In Uganda, where in Lugazi, specifically locally in Lugazi, we used to have a very bad field. So when the teams of Tonny qualified to go to World Series, this company said maybe, because the team was called Meta, Little League. So these Indians came and they said, maybe this game is promoting our company. So they graded one of the field, which is locally. So right now we're using that field locally. We have a big field, but the other side, we have a big team this side, and then we have the Little League, the other side. But we have one field in Ogazi. In another field, we have a national field, which was constructed by the Japanese.
Okay.
It has no pavilion, it has no nothing, but it's a bare ground, only with a dugout and the back fence, which is in Gayaza in Kampala, constructed by the Japanese.
Okay.
So after that, when people had interest in Uganda, we have a Little League field. If you go online, you'll find Little. If you go to Little League, you'll see they have a Little League. Was started by Richard Stanley. It is found in PG. He has the facilities, but those facilities are restricted. They are not for everybody. And from that field, they constructed school. For somebody to go to that school, there are procedures. Not everybody qualifies to go to that school. So if you come from another region where they don't want you, don't qualify to go there. And the field, on my opinion, it's a good field. When we also had team from Canada, when we come to Uganda, that's where they play from, because we hire them.
I got you. Yeah.
And that's in Uganda. In Kenya, there are some fields I think which are there, but they are not fully developed.
They're not up to date. They're not really.
They're not up to date.
Okay.
So I traveled to Rwanda, because when I came back, I said no. Then because I had a friend, because Uganda and Rwanda, they are very close. Most of the Rwandese, some of them studied in Uganda. So when I had a colleague who studied in Uganda and they traveled to Rwanda, I said, no, maybe I can extend this game to Rwanda. So I traveled to them. I traveled to their area, to Rwanda, to do some clinics. But in Rwanda, there's no there's no baseball field. So we train in
you're just playing on a large patch of grass.
Just a grass. When you sometimes go to football field, when they come, you have to leave their field. It's there, it's gazetted for them. But I've gone to places in Rwanda, like in Musanze, there's no field, but interest is there.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, that's what I'll talk about the fields in Africa.
I got you. Peter, for you, being the president of Baseball Tomorrow Academy in Nigeria, what is the overall baseball like in that country and the facilities that you guys use?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jonathan. When we look at the infrastructure we have in Nigeria right now, I can say that although in 1990, Nigeria has the best baseball park in Africa.
Okay.
We have the best and the most beautiful baseball park in Africa, built by then the administrator of the military administrator of Kwara State government then, whereby through General Shola Williams, which is the founder or the man that brought baseball to Nigeria. Starting from them, you know that the major problem we have in Africa or in Nigeria is maintenance. When you have a structure and the structure is not being maintained, at the end of the day, it's going to get bad. So that's major problem we have. At the same time, we also have another stadium built at National Stadium. I mean, another baseball pitch or park built at the National Stadium in Abuja. So these are the two major stadiums that we have. But the one in Kwara State, which is in Ilorin, actually was total out of 8. So there's no place for us to train. We make use of a public field, like a football pitch, to train and also to play tournament. At the same time, the only one that we know we can say that we have is the one in Abuja, which my friend from Uganda can testify to it because he has played on that pitch. And it's one of the best pitch so far right now in Nigeria. But I want to say this. Right now, the Kwara State government, the present governor, has renovated the baseball park in Kwara State back to its position, but not like when it was first built in 1990. So the major problem we have in Nigeria right now is what's called a baseball pitch. So baseball pitch or baseball park is the major problem we have in Nigeria. But when we talk about the development of baseball, yes, Little League, they are doing fine. And also our senior team. But right now we are capturing them young from from the grassroots. So that's what's on ground.
Okay. Okello, same question for you. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, I think right now Uganda isn't where it's supposed to be. I think because of probably maybe infrastructure, but had everything been in place, probably with infrastructure, financing, I believe Uganda would have been a big powerhouse in Uganda, baseball wise.
Okay.
Yeah, because the talent is there, and
You just need the field for it to showcase that talent.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, precisely.
Of course. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much. The Caribbean Baseball Organization CEO, Mario Signorello, who you guys know, often says that he thinks baseball is the greatest sport in the world, and it is his own personal goal to find a person who thinks like he does in every country in the world. He wanted me to thank you guys for being those people in your respective countries. Additionally, CBO will have a major announcement in the coming months about baseball in Africa, so stay tuned in for that. Thank you for watching our show. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for everything.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.